Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Hello again. Hello to Jeff. Happy Sunday evening. It's still a happy day, even though, well, yesterday was a great sports day. The Auburn won and the Astros won last night. Both of them played and both won. And then today, the Astros lost and the Saints lost. So it was the opposite of yesterday. Hello to Troy. Man, the sun is very blinding, which, it is most of the time, but seems brighter than usual today. He's back. Hello to Aries World. Blinded by the light. We got a breeze going on. It feels good. I wish the Saints would have had a breeze, but I don't know who all will be watching this at some point. But if you're a grandparent, September the 7th, 2025, today is Grandparents' Day. So happy Grandparents' Day to all those that are grandparents out there. Without grandparents, none of us would be here. And if you still have living grandparents, let them know happy Grandparents' Day. All of mine have passed away, so I can't tell them. But that's why I try to remind people that still have them to let them know that you love them and happy Grandparents' Day. I guess Grandparents' Day is like an underrated holiday, because, which I know all grandparents are mothers and fathers too, but Mother's Day and Father's Day, Grandparents' Day don't get as much recognition, I guess, as the other two do, but very important day. Hello to QP. Greetings from England. I'm doing well. How about yourself? I think that says QP. I'm seeing dots because I've been staring at the sun, but I think that says QP. But hello to England. I super enjoy talking to people from around the world, so welcome in from England. Hello to Bella and company. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Hope everybody's having a superb Sunday. QP says, nice to hear that. I'm doing good as well. Thank you. Thank you, QP. You sound like a quality person, a person of quality. Is that what QP stands for? But shout out to QP. Maybe quiet. Quiet, please. Yeah. Quiet, please. Yeah, QP, do you work at a library? Today is the 7th day of September. QP is a dentist. Okay, that's cool. And hey, a dentist does say quiet, please. You know, it makes his job easier, his or her job easier if the patient is quiet. Like I said, today is Sunday the 7th. I got a devotional called The Heart of Our Faith. Indeed. It says Paul believed nothing merited his boasting more than the cross. Galatians 6:14. He had good reason to think that. Upon two beams of rough hewn wood, salvation was made available to all people. It is through Jesus' sacrificial death that we are reconciled to the Father and freed from the penalty of sin. Galatians chapter 2:16 says, that's the key verse, Galatians 2:16, by the works of the law no flesh will be justified. That is, right living cannot earn God's acceptance. Even so, many people choose to put confidence in some sort of cosmic scale. They believe their good deeds will outweigh their bad deeds, and as a result, the gate of heaven will be open to them. However, if this were true, Jesus' death would be senseless or pointless. The problem is pride. Silence or no sense, it's natural to desire acceptance. People want to believe something within them is worth loving. But the cross requires kneeling empty-handed before God, knowing nothing we could ever be, knowing nothing we do, knowing nothing we do could ever be good enough, and accepting His overwhelming grace. While it is true that we have nothing to offer God to secure salvation, the fact is that He expects nothing. Instead, the Heavenly Father did everything necessary to cleanse away the stain of our sin and reconcile us to Him. The cross is a symbol of His divine love, a love that deserves our greatest thanks and praise. Bella and Company says God sees us through the blood of his son, Jesus Christ. That's right. If we've accepted the gift, that's exactly right. Hello to Warren D in the CLE. Appreciate you stopping by. No apologies required. I appreciate anybody that stops by at any point during the live. Ever how long you can stay is fine with me. But I appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. What time is it here? I have no idea. um, I think it's getting close to 7 p.m. is usually when the sun goes down. Yeah, Troy says it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, me and Adventure American Aries World are all in the same time zone, the Central Standard Time Zone. Bella says, gotta go early to bed, early to rise. That's what Benjamin Franklin said. But I appreciate you stopping by, Bella. Hope you get plenty of rest, a lot of refreshments. Yeah, Jeff's already over in the future. It's 1 a.m. Wow. You better go to sleep, QP. You're going to fall asleep drilling on somebody's tooth. Just kidding. I need to write a note to self to walk out about 10 minutes earlier, because it seems like every time by the time I get down here, the sun just has went down. Oh, we got spam in the chat. Spam payback. Come on down, Warren. Like I said, I started off by singing "Here I Go Again on My Own, going down the only road I've ever known," but I'm all alone. Usually when I go walking, I bring like a baseball player or two's card that has a birthday on the particular day. But I didn't bring nobody today. All alone. Darren says white snake. That's right. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Jeff. I started to make a joke, but I was like, I don't want to be too hard on the typos, because I do the same thing. Although I have known like several people that pretty much were one man bands. One of the guys I knew, his name was the One Man Band. He would play a bunch of different instruments at the same time. Then I knew another guy. He could sing all four parts like in a quartet. So he would take turns singing the four parts. So he was like a one man band. Anybody want to learn anything about states today? I got the book. Greetings from Alaska. There's Cindy, my friend from the north, the far north. Green beans. Does Calvin eat green beans? We know he eats broccoli. I can't remember. You may have made a video of him eating green beans. I can't remember. Hello to Mint Chocolate Chip. Hope you're doing well, Richard. Happy Sunday. I'm in Alabama, QP. Happy Sunday to Chanel. Thank you for stopping by. My chat's messing up. Yeah, I'm from Alabama. I don't have a banjo on my knee, but I come from Alabama. Um, right under Alabama is Alaska. So shout out to Cindy in Alaska. We got Arizona. Shout out to Fran. Got Arkansas. Shout out to Adam and Larry. California. Shout out to MPP. Colorado. Shout out to Nature Dog Realms. First one I get to that I haven't talked about or haven't shouted anybody out is Connecticut. So I guess I'll read a little bit about Connecticut. Maybe while I'm talking, somebody from Connecticut to come into the chat and tell me more about it too. See if these are facts. But there's Connecticut. Hello to Becky G. So Jeff is only 38 miles west. That's cool. So you can be in Connecticut in less than an hour. That's cool. America's oldest public library is in Connecticut. There's some cities in Connecticut: Hartford, New Haven, and Bridgeport. The name Connecticut comes from the Native American word Kenatucket, which means beside the long tidal river. Connecticut is called the Constitution State and is one of America's first 13 states. The famous authors Noah Webster and Mark Twain both lived and wrote there. First trivia question of the night: what is Mark Twain's real name? Mark Twain is his pen name. What is his real name? Knock some dust off of our brain cells. What is Mark Twain's real name? Richard asked, what book is that? This is America's 50 States. I got it from the $1.25 tree a while back. Samuel Clemens, that's right. Not to be confused with Roger Clemens, the Rocket. But there's the state flag of Connecticut. State capital is Hartford. It became the 5th state January the 9th, 1788. Yeah, I got it a long time ago, so I'm not sure if they're still there, but doesn't hurt to look. The nickname of Connecticut is the Constitution State. The state bird is the American robin. The state insect is the praying mantis. That's interesting. State shellfish is the eastern oyster. You know why, y'all know why the eastern oyster is always getting in trouble with their parents? Because they're so shellfish. Oh, bad joke of the day. Shellfish. State tree of Connecticut is the charter oak, and the state song is Yankee Doodle. I stole your joke, Richard. I'm sorry. I was being shellfish. I was being shellfish by telling that joke before you. While we're here, I'll read the next state. I don't have anybody that have said they're from Delaware either. But back in the day, I was in the Boy Scouts, and my assistant scout leader, he was originally from Delaware, so I remember that about him. But the state capital of Delaware is Dover. It's the very first state. Troy is from Delaware. I didn't know that, Troy. Or if I did know that, I forgot. That's cool. So shout out to Troy. So I can ask Troy if all these things are facts. State capital is Dover. Oh, he says just joking. It was the very first state, December 7th, 1787. The state bird is the blue hen. State wildlife animal is the gray fox. State insect is the ladybug. State marine animal is the horseshoe crab. State beverage is milk. I've already seen that with some other state. The state beverage was milk. And the state fruit is strawberry. Richard says, what is it called when French fries hang out? A ketchup. Wilmington, Delaware. I have seen the name. Yeah, I remember that from my assistant scoutmaster that Delaware was the Blue Hen, which I thought was funny when I was younger. But there you have it. Wilmington at the top, underneath Newark, and right in the middle of the state capital, Dover. Delaware is called the first state because it was the first of the original 13 colonies to accept the United States Constitution. Hello to Joe Mansman. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. Um, Delaware is the second smallest state in America. We know what number one is. We know what the smallest state in America is. Delaware is number two. Only 9 miles wide at one point. Man, only 9 miles wide at one point. Delaware is known for its chickens. Crabs, clams, and manufacturing of chemicals, rubber, and plastics. The Woodburn Mansion, home to the governor of Delaware, is supposedly haunted by ghosts. There's a state flag. Yep, who's number one? Delaware. So if y'all ever get that trivia, what was the first state? It's Delaware. Alabama's the first state alphabetically. That counts for a little bit. But we got Florida. Shout out to Orlando. Daisy May, retired Navy Rob. Georgia. Shout out to Zach and Yoda. Hawaii. Shout out to Ace Surfer and Aaron. Idaho. Shout out to Landon. Alabama backwards is Amabala. Amabala. Isn't there 52 or 53 states now? So the book needs up. But no, we're still holding on at 50 as far as I know, unless I missed something. Illinois. Shout out to the sports card ripping teacher and Sydney Cat. My life sunny side up. Indiana. Shout out to Nash Landings. Iowa. Shout out to Aries World in the chat and his neighbor Judy. And y'all don't forget, the world's largest strawberry is in Strawberry Point, which is in Iowa. Looks like right on the border. When are you going to take us to Strawberry Point, Aries? Kansas. I'll read about Kansas. The state capital of Kansas is Topeka. It became the 34th state, January 29th. Amabala backwards is Alabama. Autocorrect. The nickname of Kansas is the Sunflower State. State motto of Kansas is "To the stars through difficulties." That's pretty cool motto. I like that. Can you quiz on Alabama trivia outside the book? Would be fun to learn more about where you've come from. Yeah, could do that. Something tells me you're not in Kansas anymore, though, Troy. Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's going to talk about it. I've already seen ahead of time. Where was I at? But I like the state motto. I'm going to try to remember that of Kansas is to the stars through difficulties. To the stars through difficulties. State animal is the American buffalo. The state reptile is the ornate box turtle. And the state tree is the cottonwood. There's the state flag. The name Kansas comes from a Native American term that means people of the South Wind. The geographic center of the 48 connected American states is in a Kansas pasture. Kansas is famous for sunflowers, wheat, jazz music, barbecue, tornadoes, and the book The Wizard of Oz. The city has more barbecue restaurants per person than any other city in the country. So if y'all are interested in barbecue, Kansas City is the place to go. Did you know it used to be against the law to serve ice cream on cherry pie in Kansas? And I think there's still a lot of silly laws like that in like pretty much every state that they didn't ever really do away with, but they don't enforce it. Dodge City is the windiest city in the nation. I guess that's why you want, everybody's always talking about get out of Dodge. I guess that's why you want to get out of Dodge is because it's so windy. Might blow your toupee away or your, like Jeff yesterday, the people's caps or hats was flying off. Yeah, I need to look that up. I remember one time reading about the fun, weird laws in different states that still are laws. It's just that they're silly. They don't really enforce them. But there's Kentucky. Shout out to BC Sports Cards. And I'll stop there. I'll see every time I had Todd's light with me last night and he didn't show up, and then today I don't have it and he shows up. That's an error. Todd, I don't have your light again, man. I'm sorry. I got a flashlight, but I don't have the headlamp. We got some breeze here this evening. It feels really good. Starting to get that fall feeling. Not extremely, but just a little bit. You can hear the acorns falling, which is cool. I don't like to step on acorns. Yeah, I walk around barefooted some. I'm in the South. We've been known to do that, and it's pretty rough walking on acorns, but I like it. All right, I got some Bible trivia. Um, your strong suit is that one that you bought one time and you didn't ever wash it, like on a hot day in Texas, and it was your strong suit. You had to do away with it because it was so strong. Yeah, walking on acorns ain't no fun. But I got at least six Bible trivia questions here. Might go a little bit farther. I don't know. We'll see. But the first question is, who tried to kill David 7 times? Who tried to kill David 7 times? Could you imagine somebody trying to kill you 7 times? And pretty much the reason being The reason being that he tried to kill him 7 times was just because of jealousy, which jealousy is a horrible thing. It wasn't Goliath, although he did have an epic battle with Goliath. You can find it in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verses 10 and 11. It was one of the kings. It was the very first king of Israel. That's another reason why he was jealous, because David was going to be the second king of Israel, but this guy was the first king of Israel. It's not Herod. Here's in the New Testament. This guy is in the Old Testament in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verses 10 and 11. Todd Saul says Saul. Todd Saul. Todd Saul is right. Saul tried to kill David. And I love reading about those stories because y'all know how the Bible talks about not getting revenge. That God says vengeance is his. And man, like there were so many times that, like it says, Saul tried to kill David 7 times. Cindy got it right. Did I miss that? Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy. I didn't see your answer. Yeah, Saul's right, Cindy. Sorry, I didn't see it. But there were so many, like it says, 7 times that Saul, the first king of Israel, tried to kill the future king David 7 times. And David, the Bible talks about. I talked about this earlier, that David was a man after God's own heart, and God talks about vengeance as his. That we're not supposed to try to get revenge on people. Well, what did David do all those times that Saul tried to kill him? There was so many times that David could have retaliated on Saul, and there's like various stories in the Bible that tell of that. And one time, David pretty much had Saul trapped inside a cave, and he could have took his life if he wanted to, but he didn't. And there were several other mentions in the Bible of things such as that where David could have retaliated, but he didn't because he knew that it wasn't the right thing to do. Cindy said it twice. I missed it twice. I apologize, Cindy. But yes, Saul is the right answer. Who warned Pilate not to condemn Jesus to death? This is the New Testament, of course, talking about Jesus. Who warned Pilate not to condemn Jesus to death? But yeah, last night, Todd, I guess it was around 10 o'clock. I went out walking, you know, and tried out your headlamp that you gave me, and it worked really nice. So I appreciate that once again. His wife is the right answer, Cindy. I seen you that time, Cindy. That's Matthew chapter 27, verse 19. Pilate's wife warned Pilate not to condemn Jesus to death. She had a dream. Yeah, that's what you said, Jeff. That's right. She had a dream about it. Y'all see that eagle? That cloud looks like an eagle back there. A big eagle is flying. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but Calvin got it first. His wife. Oh yeah. See, I missed another one. See, y'all can't get no vengeance on me. I'm trying to teach y'all about vengeance. Yeah, Calvin got it first, but hey, this ain't no race. We teams, remember? So congratulations to Jeff and Cindy on the collaboration there. It's fine, Todd. I know you can't keep up on YouTube. I mean, I know a lot of people try, and some do better than others, I'm sure, but there's a lot going on. Um, I forgot what I lost my train of thought. All right, one of my favorite Old Testament characters is a guy named Daniel. Daniel, like Hebrew names in the Bible, they end in el. That el means God, so it's something dealing with God. The names that were named something related to God. And Dan means judge, so Daniel means God is my judge. And I love Daniel in the Old Testament. I love reading about him. Hello to Just Roy Delivery. Happy Sunday. But the question about Daniel is, what did Daniel and his Jewish friends refuse to eat and drink? What did Daniel and his Jewish friends refuse to eat and drink? Yeah, Todd, that's understood. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, meat half right. This is in Daniel chapter 1, verse 8. It talks about Daniel purposed in his heart, and when it says purposed in his heart, it means he made up his mind. He made up his mind ahead of time that he wasn't going to eat or drink what the king had. Yeah, you're right, Roy. It's the king's meat and the king's wine. That's right. I don't think it says what kind of meat it was. I have to look at it. I don't have it with me. I got a New Testament with me. I don't have the Old Testament. But I think it just says king's meat, so I don't think it says exactly what it was. But Daniel was Jewish, so the under the Jewish dietary law, there were certain things he couldn't eat, pork and stuff like that. So something of that sort, probably pork, but I don't know that. I don't think it says for sure. I remember it does say wine, and I think he went with water and like some type of vegetable in its place. But hello to Madden Morris. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're recovering from your injury. Question number 4. I'm doing well, Madden. Thank you for asking. Just doing a little Bible trivia here right before it gets completely dark as the sun goes down. The moon comes up. Which country was Samson? Let's see. Which country was Samson in when he died? Which country was Samson in when he died? Ty Saw says that the Bills are up 7-0, but that ain't the final score, Todd. It ain't over. Like Yogi Berra said, it's not over till it's over. And I just made a prediction. I didn't say that it was going to happen for sure, Just my prediction that the Ravens were going to win. Of course, I predicted the Saints to win today too, and it didn't happen. Cindy Ray got it right. It is Philistia, where the Philistines are from. How long did it take Solomon to build the temple? Yeah, I love Yogi Berra. I hate I never got his autograph because I love me some Yogi-isms. I love his sayings. He was talking about a crowded restaurant one time. He said nobody ever goes there because it's too crowded. I never got his autograph. I got his son's autograph. He has 2 sons. His son Tim Berra played baseball like he did, and then his other son, his son Dale Berra played baseball like he did, and his other son Tim Berra played football. "7 years is the right answer. So Cindy and Calvin collaborated on the right answer. What king had Daniel thrown into a den of lions? What king had Daniel thrown into a den of lions? I was going to drop a hint, but I see Cindy just got it. I was going to say, do y'all remember Hootie and the Blowfish? The lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish was going to be my hint. Darius, that's right. Different Darius, though. You and me, we come from different worlds. I'm such a baby, the dolphins make me cry. Man, the moon is really big tonight, which I know it's an illusion on the horizon, but it looks super big. I'll show y'all just in a minute. Dolphins are mean. Flipper was a great guy, I thought. I used to like watching Flipper back in the day. Not the original, of course. I'm not that old. Not no offense to anybody that is, but that was before my time. But I love watching Flipper. They call him Flipper, Flipper. So if the sun sets you free, you will be free indeed. John chapter 8, verse 36. They call him Flipper, Flipper, da 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 da. Cindy's never been to Applebee's, and she don't know who Hootie and the Blowfish is. Well, that's fine. There's places we've all never been to, and there's things that we all don't know. So join the club. Excuse me. You and me, we come from different worlds. I'm in Alabama and you're in what rhymes with worlds. Richard says, what is Applebee's? There's nothing I can do. I only want to be with you. I used to have well, I still do probably somewhere, a Hootie and the Blowfish CD. I've been to Applebee's, but it's been a long time. It's a restaurant. Did y'all see the game between the baseball game between the Phillies and the the Miami Marlins, where the guy for the Phillies hits the home run up into the seats, home run up into the seats, and a guy was with his son who had a birthday, and he ran over and got the ball, and it was right in front of another person, and that the woman that it was in front of, I guess she was offended that he came over to where she was. So he takes his ball, gives it to his son, the home run ball, and then the lady comes over and just like telling him off. So he just gives her the ball, and then like a representative from the Marlins comes and gives the boy like baseball or an assortment of stuff. And then the Phillies like let him come in the dugout or wherever they meet, and got like the player that hit the home run to sign him a bat. But I got to thinking about that. And this thought came to my mind that it's true of all of us. We either can be peacemakers or we can be peace takers. You know, and I really couldn't tell from the video if the woman had the ball and then the guy yanked it out of her hand. That's a different story. I don't think that's what happened, but that may have been the case. So I can't make no judgment calls. But it looked like he just grabbed it off the ground, off the between the seats or whatever. But I'm not sure. But anyhow, I just thought about how it didn't look good for that lady anyhow to get the ball from the boy that it was his birthday. So it kind of like, to me, she was a peace taker. She took the joy from this little boy. But then the dad, he winds up giving the lady the ball. So in a way, he's a peacemaker. He just let her have it. And then the Florida Marlins was peacemakers. They came and gave him all kind of cool stuff. And then the Phillies was peacemakers. They came and gave him an autographed bat, and he got to meet the player that hit the home run. So I got to think about that. We can either be peace takers, take peace away from people by our actions and words, or we can be peacemakers. We can do things to live peaceably with each other, to get along with each other. Yeah, it didn't seem like he took it from her, but I couldn't really exactly tell for sure. I tried to give the lady the benefit of the doubt. Because it would have been wrong if he did snatch it out of her hands, but if he just got it off of the ground, off the cement or whatever it is, it's game for anybody. But that just came to my mind, like, we all can be either peacemakers or peace takers with our everyday actions, words. Another thing I don't understand, I guess you're entitled, if you catch the baseball, I guess you're entitled to do whatever you want to, but I've never understood when they throw the baseball back. I don't care who hit it, what team they're on. If somebody hits me a home run or a foul ball even, whatever, I'm collecting that one. Or giving it to a kid, something. It's not going back on the field, though. I didn't see that, Richard. Where was that at? I haven't seen that. My two favorite colors, orange and blue, mixed together. But I believe we all can do things that either can make or break somebody's day. And I like how both the both teams, both Major League Baseball teams, went out of their way to make that little boy's birthday special. Portuguese version of an English muffin. I haven't seen those score updates, Todd. What's the score now? Is it still 7-0? Yeah, that's one of my favorite verses too. Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount. Um, he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." So to me, that means a characteristic of a person that's a child of God is that they'll be peacemakers. That ought to be characteristic of our lives. Not peace takers, but peacemakers. But he says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." Bills 7, Ravens 3. See, you didn't make that announcement that the Ravens have scored, Todd. You got to. See, you're getting a little nervous that the Ravens are coming back there. And Jeff, on the Patriots, they they have, I think they have two former Auburn players on the team. I think they're both cornerbacks, if I remember right. And I try to keep up with like all the former Auburn players that are on the different NFL teams. But I want to say that New England has two former Auburn players on their team. And like I said, they're both, I think, cornerbacks. I remember when Cam Newton used to play for the Patriots.